Good morning. Harvest prep season is here. So we gotta change oil in our combine, which is not something we normally do in the summer before wheat harvest. It's something we normally do in the winter after we're done with harvest. Watch out, boys. But we had some issues with the combine burning oil. I talked about this yesterday. It went to the dealer. I thought they were gonna do it. They didn't. So we get to change engine oil now. So what that means is we have to bag it outside and let it warm up for a little bit, get the oil hot, and then we'll bring it back in here and empty it. You might have to wash it again. The side panels are not too bad, but it is a little dusty. It could use a spray down the foam. All right, we got to get some buckets around and get ready to change oil. Hey, why is there mud? Kids made a mud pile so they can ride their tractors through it. What is this? Why is it muddy? I don't like it. Ah, children's. Got our buckets, got the filter down, and it's been running for 5 minutes or so. Pull her back in here and go open the drain valve. Deere conveniently pipes the oil down to the ground so you don't have to have buckets up there by the engine. So while it is kind of nice that our dealer stores this for us all winter, they did this year, we didn't have to take up barn space with it, it is rather concerning the amount of footprints trying to get into the combine. Ouch. And crawling all over it.
It makes more oil come out if you blow. That's,
yeah. I don't think there's any raccoons in there, but you never know.
Where? See that coon?
All is good back here.
A coon?
No, no coons.
There?
So this wheat, when we combine wheat here at Waldron, we will windrow it. Got a friend of mine that bale straw behind our combine and stuff, but when we go to Berkey, do that wheat down there, it's far enough away that we are just going to spread it back in the field and not windrow it. So anyway, in order to do that, we leave the straw chopper up and everything just falls out there instead of going through the chopper and spreaders. One thing that I am super excited about is our cameras. Remember these cameras? So John Deere has this, what do they call this? I want to say Active Vision, but that doesn't sound right. No, what's it called? Anyway, they have this camera that mounts on the clean grain elevator and one on the tailings that analyze the sample and will automatically adjust the combine to optimize its performance. We ordered this combine new with them. They were totally unavailable when we got it, and we ran the combine for a year and a half now without those cameras because we couldn't get them. Finally got them as harvest was ending last year, but we did not actually get to run them. So I'm excited for that here in wheat harvest to try it and see how those work for us. I think they're going to be really, really awesome. And yeah, finally. Combine Advisor, that's what it's called, Combine Advisor. Boys love playing with water, so I'm letting them fill up our fire extinguisher that we got to put on the back. I'm getting some parts around, cutter bar parts for the bean head. We'll get a few other things and some tools in here so that we're ready to go with that. Okay, we got our tools around and the toolbox filled up. Another thing that I need to do is work on some monitor mounting stuff. We've got that Gen 4 extended display this year that we've not run in the combine before, and we're going to mount that up here. Unfortunately, this bracket is the old 2-style hole, but that Gen 4 monitor came with this one that's got the 4 holes for mounting. So we're going to switch these out, and then if I'm going to use my iPad in here for the Harvest Mobile or Connect Mobile or whatever they call it nowadays, I'm going to need to figure out how to mount an iPad, which is Either going to get mounted here somehow, or a suction cup to the window maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I think the shop floor has become lava. At least for one of them. Who do you think is going to end up picking all that stuff up? Anyway, I got our monitor mounted. It's more solid than the old one. The old one kind of shook a little bit, so that's kind of nice. Just got to plug it in up here. Not like that. The other way. Like that. There. Cool. I wish there was a way to put my iPad up here. That way I could see it from the passenger seat when I'm riding with Dad and I have to reach across to him. We're going to explore our options. There's no mounting bolts in that corner post, so that's not going to work. So it's probably going to end up... Ooh, what are those? I wonder if those are mounting spot. Maybe. I don't know. It's probably going to end up over here or off of this. They are committed and dedicated, if nothing else. We've made it all the way to the 8RX. It's heavy, guys. Be careful. It's okay. Rylan? They've been working on this for better than a half an hour now. Alright, so we've got to get the oil filter changed here, so I'm trying to get that pulled off. Okay, we'll let that drain. I got the new one put on. We're ready to close the drain up and put oil in. Oh, pumps make this so much easier. Suppose we should go look up and see how much oil it takes. 45.5 quarts. That'll take a minute, but it'll get there. All right, trying to get the rest of the cab stuff ready to go here. Might put some water and stuff in our fridge, and I still got to figure out how to mount that iPad. I got sidetracked. That's what happens. I work on stuff and then I get sidetracked. So it occurs to me that I'm going to need a iPad, which I've always used an iPad to run our grain cart scale anyway, but I may need a better iPad to run our grain cart scale with this new system that we're going to run. I don't know if my old iPad Air 2 that's pushing 10 years old is going to do it. And if that's the case, then my iPad Pro that I run in the combine, I'll have to, I don't know. So I'm not sure what's going to get mounted where. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Trying to get stuff downloaded and updated and make sure everything's going to work. That's where we're at. The kids did it. I'm impressed.
What? That I can push this?
That you actually cleaned them all up. I thought for sure I was going to have to do that. So we need to work on our bean head, the Draper head, put a new cutter bar on or new knives on, sections on. It's nice to do that on concrete, and this is about the only place that we have to be able to work on concrete and do that. So I think we're going to pull the bean planter out, at least move the 9R over, if not just pull it out, and then we can back the combine in there, back the Draper head in, and be able to pick it off the trailer, and then we can work on it, because it can't do it with it on the trailer very well.
The brake.
All right, we are backing the combine out of the shop. Brock's going to bring our header
Dad,
around.
the board's breaking.
We're going to back this in the shop back there, or the new barn, the storage barn.
That
so we can
pulled
work
it
on
so
the concrete.
good.
It's moving it. I wasn't sure if it would get it moving or not, but he's getting there. I think we got room. It's getting a little crooked. This head is enormous. 40 foot, RD40F. I know, they make bigger ones. It's crazy. Anyway, I'll show what we got to do. So, number one, we need to pull cutter bars and put all new knife sections on. All these teeth, we start new every year before wheat harvest. They stay pretty sharp through wheat harvest, and then when we're doing beans,
No.
this,
Yeah.
it's the hold down to keep the bar held down where it needs to be. When we start doing beans, you're running in the dirt right on the ground. They get dull, they get broken, they get chipped. They're just not as sharp as they start new. So we're going to start new every year. So the easiest way is to just pull the whole dang thing out of there. You got to take a couple pieces apart and go. There's a broken one right there. And it's just a matter of zipping those bolts off, putting the new sections on, and zipping them back together. So we're going to do that. What else? We need to go through the drum, make sure there's no broken fingers. I don't remember there being any, but we can spin it and make sure. And we should have it. It's fairly well cleaned up. It did get a little dusty sitting in the barn, but shouldn't have much to do there. We need to tension the Draper belt, so we always store it with the tension off. There's a bolt on the end that we need to spin until this arrow is in the green there. And then we should be good to go. Just check everything out. We should grease it, all that good stuff. Well, I just got back from lunch. We left the boys at home. Brock is changing knives. Got the cutter bars pulled out. I need to go through. Oh, you already did those. Nice. I need to go through and inspect guards, make sure we don't have any broken stuff. Sometimes these edges get rounded over, and then they're not a nice edge to cut. And so they need replaced. These all look okay yet. They're not perfect, but they're not really that rounded off. So I'll just make sure we got everything in good shape. So we had one guard here that wasn't really broken or worn out, but it was the wrong style. So you'll notice that like this one has two long points, one short. This one has one long point and two shorts. We must have broke one in the field last year, and it was all I had, so I put on a single point one. And then we had 3 single points in a row. That's not right, so I switched it out, put the right one on there. And then I was looking over the center drum, making sure we didn't have any broken fingers. We do not. Center belt all looks good. But I did notice we have a broken finger here. I happen to have a new one, so we're going to change that out. Pretty simple to do. Just a bolt through the top, snaps on there, around the shaft, the bar, pipe, whatever you want to call it. That's done. Well, that was easy. All right, well, we got that one slid back in there, and we needed to tighten the Draper belts, so that's this button. Something like that. We'll come over here and check our gauge. We could use a little more. One other thing, hold on. I was going to grease this until I went to our grease cabinet and realized that, oh, maybe that's too much. We are out of grease. And then I'm reminded, oh yeah, we've been out of grease since, middle of planting season. For a while. Tried to get some from the dealer several times. They have not had any. We're going to call that close enough. And so I looked on our website today, or called them again. Oh, I did both. They got a shipment in last week. So they're sending me grease. It'll be here tomorrow. So we're going to just hold off and grease it tomorrow. We've been using some other stuff where we've needed grease, a lithium grease, but we use their polyurea on most things, and I hate mixing them, especially when we don't have to. And we don't have to. We can just wait until tomorrow, but we got to grease like this drive shaft. And there's some bearings up there on the reel that need grease. Not a lot, but there are a few on here. All right, Brock got all our knives changed and got that second one shoved back in there. So just a matter of making sure everything's connected and the guards are all tight and back on. I don't know if you can see it, but I got an iPad mount up there in the other corner of the cab from where we were, because we've got our extended monitor over in that corner where I had the iPad last year. I don't know, we're gonna try it there. I might not like that, but we're gonna start there. So this is pretty well ready to go, other than a little grease tomorrow. Well, the combine is pretty well ready to go. I'm going to get the head unhooked. I would like to take it out and run it at some point. I don't think that's going to happen today. I was working in this tractor just a little bit. That monitor can come out of there. We can clean the cab up a little bit, and then we've got to get an iPad mounted in there for our scale system on the cart and get everything ready to hook the cart up, which we're going to do tomorrow. So that's the plan. I'm going to move the combine back around. We're going to put that header cart in there and drop the head off so we can move stuff around a little bit more, get the bean planter put back inside, maybe the 9R. We'll go park this somewhere where we can get to it with the combine when we're ready to hook up to it. All right, well, my boys' last t-ball game is tonight, so I'm going to go to that and wrap things up here for today. Combine's ready to go. That's awesome. And tomorrow we're going to get the grain cart out and put our new Agromatics scale system on there, Libra cart, which I am thrilled about. We'll talk a lot about that tomorrow. And what else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, yesterday we did these root digs, where I dug up those corn plants, and we saw that kind of Mohawk root system there. And I have a very, very hard time believing that that is sidewall compaction from the planter. For a couple of reasons. One, we have hydraulic downforce, and I was not over applying downforce. At least if it was reading the way that it said it was, I was not. Like, I was trying to keep it as light as possible. So I have a hard time believing that that's what caused it. Plus, we were really dry when we planted. All of that stuff that we planted in April, we were not wet. Our ground conditions were very, very good. And usually you get that kind of compaction when it's excessively wet. So here's my theory. Now, I could be way off base here, but here is my theory. We put a lot of starter fertilizer and nutrients in the furrow and right next to the furrow, right? Our in-furrow nozzles, where we put that sugar product with the 721-3 with molasses sugar in it, went in furrow. We put some zinc in furrow. We put some carbon in furrow. We also then, in our 2x2, put nitrogen and sulfur and zinc and some phosphorus right there. And so my thought process now, and why our roots look like they do, is I think they were chasing those nutrients. I think that we had some loose dirt there, and it kind of found those nutrients, and that's just where the roots grew in that row. And they were able to penetrate the bottom of the seed trench and get deeper and follow the moisture, but they grew faster there and they stuck with the moisture. Whereas the ones out to the side here, of which there are some, although this is starting to get flattened and dried out, the ground just dried out before they could get down, and they couldn't get through that hard clay that was too dry, and there was no moisture in it for them to grow through. So that's my theory. I have no idea if that's right or not, but at least it makes sense. So anyway, it is what it is. We'll keep an eye on that stuff throughout the year. Do some more digging later in the summer. But have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow working on a grain cart. Like and subscribe. Questions and comments. See ya.